Hello, 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 and welcome to another episode of One Life Fully Lived. I am your host, Jenn, and I am passionate about life and living it to the fullest. Today, I am going to speak to you about Aladdin carpets, an amazing topic delivered in my own unique way. Who has read the book of Aladdin, seen the TV show, or seen the movies? Great stories, right? But here's the thing that always amazed me about those stories. How does one balance on a flying carpet? It doesn't have a motor. It doesn't follow any of the rules of physics. Yet having the genie made logical thinkers move beyond that fact and soar in the magic of possibilities. And yes, I know it is a fictional story that requires imagination. But funny enough, life is just that. Life is a journey of possibilities, some magical, because some impossible heights were actually achieved, yet at first glance seemed impossible for some. Religious thinkers would say those impossible possibilities are miracles. What a delightful term, impossible possibilities. Is it a miracle to see a building taller than we ever imagined possible? Can we say that Burj Khalifa in Dubai, standing at just shy of 830 meters, to be magical? A miracle? What about seeing a building shaped like a woman? Who would have thought? Should we consider the Marilyn Monroe Towers in Mississauga, Ontario, Canada, to be a miracle? Or the success of people like Warren Buffett or Bill Gates to be miraculous or magical? Give that some thought. But here is what I consider when thinking of impossible possibilities. I think that someone who heard that impossible word decided to be defiant, rebellious even. They decided to not accept any negative messages. They decided to instead solve the problem they faced and do it in a big, massive way. They took on challenges head on and became resourceful in figuring out how to make their dreams a reality. They chose to do something similar, differently, a different path of sorts. Making a building shapely is atypical for sure. Constructing the tallest building in the world by making it about 200 meters taller than the tallest one is bold. All of these things requires careful planning and so much more. I believe those involved ignored fear. In fact, they used pure determination to squash fear. They probably faced ridicule and pessimistic views on their ability to deliver these projects. Yet they did. How does this relate to Aladdin carpets? We all have the ability to soar. We all have a genie of sorts in us, capable of lifting our carpets in ways that defies the parameters placed by others and society. Those towers did not just happen. They did not just appear. We see the wondrous end results, but we don't know of all the hard work involved, the challenges faced, the numerous pick-me-up moments that were needed to persevere. We only see the smiles, the cutting of ribbons, the later awards, the pat on the back, and the resulting achievements. Then we may read the biographies, which does not always dwell on the mental strain of the journey. For example, I recently came across a Bill Gates statement that goes like this. Apparently, Bill Gates showed his business plan to 1,200 people. 900 said no, and only 300 signed up. Out of those 300, only 85 did anything at all. Out of those 85, only 35 were serious, and out of those 35, a mere 11 made Mr. Gates a multi-millionaire. And by today's net worth, multi-millionaire is actually multi-billionaire. That is 0.0092% of the 1,200 people he approached. How many of us have the fortitude and wherewithal to stay committed to what we want, need, and believe for ourselves? How many will explore the reach of the genie in us to soar above like Aladdin on our own personalized carpets? What fuels our Aladdin carpet is faith, blind faith in ourselves. Who has ever stepped out on faith alone? Those who immigrate from one country to another are doing just that. I don't know about you, but that was my mother. And certainly for many Canadians, such blind faith is in their family history. Many of us are immigrants or coming from immigrant families. I have sat and spoken to people who came here with less than $50 in their pockets. Some came with only the shirts on their back. These type of stories are hard to imagine, yet we hear of such feats of accomplishments. So we know acting in blind faith can deliver great results. Another example is my being here. Hosting podcasts is one of those feats. Over a year of effort went into that. And here it is, finally real and tangible. That journey was riddled with fear. But rather than focus on the fear, I focused on what felt right and attacking the goal 1 or 2 steps at a time. Remember, in the trailer for this show, I said I would never ask of you what I have not asked of myself. Using my voice and my experiences to help others was my goal. That's it. That was my carpet. I had nothing beyond that. So I needed fuel to get my carpet off the ground. I had to leverage my inner genie, and that came from taking action, trusting that I had the talent to reach people, and fighting off the fear of being online in social media at every step. Now here I am, hosting a podcast, open to your response, positive or negative. Is that miraculous? Magical? I say no. I say it is hard work. It is going against the grain of what may initially seem impossible. It is doing the heavy lifting of change in direction, of discovering what truly makes one happy and feeling fulfilled, and taking actionable steps to secure that in one's life. What is that for each of you listening? Call it your superpower, what makes you passionate, your purpose. Apply whatever term you want to it. The question still remains, what is it for you? What is your Aladdin carpet? Do you have the gumption, the motivation, the wherewithal to fuel your carpet to fly, to soar in unexpected ways to unexpected places? Can you pursue what seems irrational for others but feels right for you? Again, I ask, what is your Aladdin carpet? Now, I do have to remind everyone of the outward versus inward flow. Hopefully you listened to that episode and can make a start in a way that is right for you and your circumstances. Please don't crash and burn, but also don't just stay status quo just because. If you are yearning for something different, something more, then start weaving your carpet and then work to fuel it for flight. That requires you directing energy back to you. That requires you believing in yourself. That requires you taking a chance, acting somewhat with blind faith. I am Jenn Drakes. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, follow the show. Please share the love and get ready for the next episode.